Hello, BTS lovers. The shocking statement came directly from Jungkook, a global idol figure who has been known to be secretive when talking about his deepest feelings. "I can't keep it any longer. The army has a right to know," he said in a post-service interview that sparked an unexpected emotional reaction from Jimin, his group mate and closest friend. In just minutes after this confession spread, army around the world flooded tears. However, one question hangs in the air. Is it true that this is purely from the heart, or is there a communication strategy behind it? In the 12-minute clip, which was initially limited to the Weverse fan community, Jungkook appears to be holding his breath before uttering the phrase. His face was serious, his eyes looking straight at the camera. "All this time, I kept something heavy in my heart. I feel like a failure as a friend, and maybe also as an artist." The statement immediately became the center of public conversation, especially when it became known that he meant Jimin, a figure who had always appeared cheerful, but in a live show a few days later, cried and said, "I didn't know he felt that heavy. I feel guilty too." This emotional reaction is the main fuel for various social media platforms such as TikTok, X, formerly Twitter, and YouTube Shorts. Thousands of videos of analysis, reactions, and even conspiracy theories began to appear, highlighting every detail from Jungkook's tone of voice to Jimin's body cues. However, are we too carried away by the flow of emotions? Jungkook said his military service gave him room to think clearly. "There was no camera, no spotlight, just me and my mind." He claims to have written dozens of songs, not for albums, but as a form of therapy. "The songs are not about sweet love, but about wounds, about people I've neglected because of my career." One of the songs is said to have been written specifically for Jimin. Jimin's reaction? He appeared on a live broadcast a few days later, staring blankly at the screen before finally saying, "We hold back too often just to look strong." Her tears broke out in the middle of the broadcast, making the fans who watched it feel dissolved in sadness. However, here comes the tipping point. Is this moment really spontaneous? Or is it part of a grand narrative that is neatly laid out ahead of BTS's big comeback? We cannot close our eyes that big hit music is known for careful and calculated marketing strategies. What's more, just days after the video went viral, the agency confirmed that Jungkook and Jimin would be releasing a personal collaboration project, an emotional work written from their life experiences. This incident is not the first. South Korea's entertainment world often combines personal emotions with industry momentum. Emotions are used as a selling point. Tears are part of the promotion. So let us ponder, is what we are witnessing a form of sincerity, or a dramatic narrative that is very nicely shaped to arouse the hearts of the public? Another interesting fact. Jungkook's statement came just a few weeks before the re-release of the BTS documentary in the extended version. The documentary is said to feature exclusive footage from the group's military service, including Jungkook's unpublished diary entries. Are these timings coincidental or part of an integrated marketing campaign? Of course, there is nothing wrong if an artist wants to share his feelings. In fact, many appreciated Jungkook's courage to open up. However, the crucial question remains, are we receiving genuine recognition, or are we being presented with a story that has been curated to be in line with the promotional agenda? Jimin himself adds another layer to this story. In a radio interview uploaded to YouTube, he said, "We learned that saving everything doesn't make us stronger. Opening up makes us more human." These remarks reinforce the perception that they are indeed going through a real emotional process. But still, critical reflection needs to be put forward. We live in an era where emotional content can be a very powerful tool for building attachment. And when this attachment is linked to fan loyalty, the resulting economic value can be enormous. Therefore, it is important to ask, are the tears shown in the video a reflection of actual wounds, Or is the script well written by the production team? Many fans may feel this is an authentic moment of recognition, and not a few are moved to feel closer to their idols. But precisely because we feel close, we must be extra vigilant. When emotion becomes a commodity, we as an audience must have a filter not to deny authenticity, but to analyze it more clearly. To date, no official statement has denied or confirmed whether the moment was conceived as part of a comeback strategy. Big hit music simply called Jungkook and Jimin's collaborative work the most honest expression of the heart. But as we know, the word honest in the entertainment industry doesn't always mean unpackaged. Therefore, we invite you, readers and armies around the world, to reflect on one big question. Do you really believe that everything that happens is purely from their hearts? Or could it be that this is part of a narrative so meticulously designed by the agency? Are we being presented with reality? Or is it simply an artistic interpretation of reality itself? At the end of the day, maybe no one really knows except themselves. But a reflective, skeptical, and analytical attitude remains essential in addressing any viral phenomenon, even when it comes from the people we admire most. The public's emotional reaction to Jungkook's confession and Jimin's tears does illustrate the strong emotional bond between the idol and his fans. However, behind those moments that feel so sincere, we must dare to ask deeper. Is all this really authentic? Or are we witnessing a huge scenario carefully designed by the machinery of the South Korean entertainment industry to create maximum emotional effect? It's important to remember that most of the information we receive about these events comes from social media platforms such as TikTok, X, formerly Twitter, YouTube Shorts, to Weverse. Platforms that inherently prioritize visual appeal and emotion to increase interaction. In a digital ecosystem like this, is it possible that we only see parts of reality that have been cut, edited, and packaged in such a way as to touch our emotional side? When the video of Jungkook delivering his emotional statement first appeared, many were moved. However, how many of us are trying to find the full footage, not just the viral shortcuts? How often do we check whether the statement is actually happening in the context mentioned, or is it just part of a larger, complex narrative? Are we engaged in a search for truth, or is it just instant emotional consumption? We know that the entertainment industry, especially those as professional as K-pop, understands very well how to shape public perception. Behind the camera and microphone is a team of creatives, media managers, and marketing specialists who work to create moments that impact the market, generate anticipation, and drive purchases of music, tickets, and merchandise. So, was this moment born organically, or was it created as a promotional catalyst on the eve of a major project being prepared? If indeed Jungkook's confession and Jimin's response were part of a sincere personal story, then this is a very touching moment and worthy of appreciation. But if it's the other way around, how do we judge an emotional narrative that is shaped by commercial interests? Is the manipulation of public emotions acceptable just because it is done by an idol we love? Let's look at another fact. After the video went viral, in less than 48 hours, social media was flooded with theories, reaction content, and coverage from major entertainment channels. Some media outlets even claimed that this was an emotional peak moment in BTS's history, without providing any valid confirmation from the agency or primary sources. Most of the news that spreads comes from short videos, speculative captions, and pieces of live broadcasts that are not thorough. So the crucial question arises, what percentage of this information has actually gone through the journalistic verification process? In a fast-paced and viral world, facts are often outdone by narratives. Emotions beat verification. Then it is important for us to ask, do we believe the truth, or do we only believe what we want to hear? Is this emotional moment going viral because it's really touching, or because algorithms know how to provoke our emotions to increase engagement? And when we cry with our idols, is it because we know the whole story, or because we see what we are allowed to see. This criticism is not to diminish the meaning of the relationship between Jungkook, Jimin, and ARMY. Relationships are real. The emotional closeness built up over the years is also real. But this reality should not make us stop thinking critically. Precisely because we care, we must ensure that the narrative presented does indeed reflect reality, not just an illusion designed to nurture the fan base and boost popularity.